Hello, I thought I'd bring you a video on how to use the print and cut printable transfer sheets. The one I've got today is the Premium Inkjet Dark. When you receive your pack, you will find there's a sheet, the cover sheet, and if you turn the cover sheet over, you've got the full instructions on how to use this particular one. We do the light, the dark and the premium dark, and the instructions for each one is very different, so make sure you thoroughly read the instructions that come with them right the way through before starting the process. When you take your sheets out of the packet, you will find one side is a matte white, it's very dull, no shine to it at all, and you turn it over and you've got a shiny side. That is the carrier sheet, so you do not want to be printing on the shiny side, you want to print your design onto the matte side. As it's a thicker medium, you can use your print and cut facility on your cry cut and your silhouette scanning cut, etc. We're using the registration marks and get the machine to cut it for you, or you can cut it by hand. You'll see how I've printed it out, and you can see the colour is absolutely spot on, nice and bright and sharp. Okay, so run that through your printer and then either do the cut and print or cut it by hand. Make sure all the white edges are gone, because any white edges left will then transfer onto your project when you go to apply it, so remove all those. Okay, when you've actually done the cutout, let's move those out of the way. When you've done the cutout and you're going to press it, turn your design over and remove the actual plastic carrier sheet. Because I'm videoing it, it's going to be a bit of a devil, isn't it? But let's try another piece down here. Actually, if you've got your weeds and tweezers, you'll probably find this a lot easier to do. There we go. Alright, so you're going to remove that carrier sheet off. Okay, so you're just left with the printable vinyl. This is the piece that you'll then be putting onto your t-shirt, bag, whatever project you're going to be doing. When you've got it under the heat press, make sure you cover this with some silicone sheet or baking parchment, greaseproof paper, anything that will protect the lid of your heat press or your iron from coming in contact with that piece of vinyl. Okay, if you're going to use your heat press, it has to be set at 160 degrees and you only do it for 10 seconds. Don't try doing it for more, you'll overheat the adhesive, and if you do not get your temperature up to 160, you're not going to be sealing the ink. That is very important. I will show you in a moment an example of where I've deliberately only put my heat press at 150. If you're going to be using an iron, make sure there's no steam holes in it. Sorry, make sure the steam is turned off and have it set at cotton, should be about 160. If you find it's failing, you need to turn your iron up very slightly, but probably not up to the linen setting, that is going to be too hot. And you need to be pressing down with a lot of pressure onto your project. No good doing it on an ironing board. Get on the floor, get on a hard worktop and really push down on your iron to give it the pressure it needs. Once you've pressed it, leave the transfer paper to completely cool to a cold peel before you attempt to remove that silicone sheet, baking parchment. Leave that totally there. Once you've transferred it, you'll find you'll be able to pull your t-shirt, bag, whatever it is, in a few different directions just to soften up the transfer. Okay, and again, look at your washing instructions. If you've used pigment inks, you can wash them inside out up to 60 degrees using a non-biological powder or liquid. If you're using water-based inks, which most crafters inkjet printers are water-based with the colours, the pigment ink is only normally the black. So if you're going to use water-based inks, then you need them to be washed inside out on a cool temperature. So cool is going to be like a wool wash, 30 degrees. Okay. Don't iron it, tumble dry it, dry clean it, or even put your iron onto the transfer. Now, I'm going to show you some samples of what's happened where I have not had the heat pressure at 160. I've attempted to wash it, and as you can see here, it has actually started to run. Okay, get that a bit closer, you can probably see that. There's one there, you can see where that's running. And I'll bring you another one here I tested earlier. Again, deliberately not doing the correct timings, not doing the correct heat temperature, totally and utterly. That is run. You can see here, that was the original picture. And by only having the heat in at 160, and I pressed it for 15 seconds and not the 10, put it in the wash, the colour has all disappeared. So reaching the temperature is most important. We've got one here that was done at the correct setting of 160 for 10 seconds. That's been in the wash, and that is, whoops, sorry, that's come off the tripod. And you can see there, that's absolutely fine. That has not had any harm with the wash. And just to prove it, I'm just going to whack that in the warm water. Again, I've used a non-biological powder, and it's a cool warm wash. That's now gone in, and it's now coming out. Drip water everywhere, and you can see that is not running. So if you're having problems with your design running, you have not got your temperature up to 160 degrees. It is this temperature that's reacting to the sheets to actually seal your ink in. So any problems, try turning your heat up a bit and making sure you are reaching this 160 degrees temperature, and you shouldn't fail. Okay, hope that helps everybody. Thank you.